Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
There's only one other good play on Minnesota.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Oh, if you didn't know, it's the NBA Hardwood Show here on a Wednesday afternoon. Almost time for a little March Madness, but not yet. We got NBA tonight, 8 games to talk about here with my man Draft Cheat to break it all down. DC, you ready to roll?
Ready to roll. 3 minutes late today, so I think that qualifies as early for this show. So silencing the haters, you do love to see it, and yeah, like you said, only 16 more hours before I have to delete my Twitter app for a couple weeks to not see all the hardos talking about NCAA basketball. I can't do it, JSU. So we'll stay off the app. We'll let people enjoy their hoops, but we'll still be in the NBA and baseball streets for the time being.
We will still be in the streets. I'm with these. I'll still watch the madness, DC, but I don't really care about the hardo commentators with college basketball. So I'm kind of with you from that standpoint. But
but the defense, JSU, think of the incredible defense you can watch, which is just those guys not being able to shoot is what it is. But we'll give credit.
I have my issues with college basketball, and I think I've made them known so many different times. But March Madness, I get it. It's a tournament. We all like tournaments, DC. Honestly, if any sport did like a tournament, we would all be like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? You lose, you're out. It's fine. I get it. I get it from that standpoint. So, but we're in the minority for sure because everyone loves college basketball. Even the people that don't watch DC, like us, that don't watch like all throughout the year, they love. You know what I mean? They can't wait for this time. It's like their favorite time of the year. Like Big T is that way. Big T doesn't really watch a ton of college basketball, but when it hits March Madness, this dude he likes nothing more than college basketball. He honestly doesn't like being bothered with anything else when it's March Madness.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could get into it as much as that, but listen, the tournament aspect, the one and done, you can one bad game and you're out. That's awesome.
That's fun. That's
good for any sport, but just the sport itself, I just have a hard time getting into it.
Cub says, "I'll see you guys in the guys for MLB." I appreciate that. We're pumped for a little MLB action. It's coming up. It's coming up quick, right, DC? I mean, next week I think is regular season start day. I don't know exactly which day. Is it the 25th? It's probably a week. Yeah, Wednesday. Is that the day?
One game? Giants and Yankees on Wednesday night, a week from today, and then most teams play on Thursday.
Okay.
Should have a nice early show here on Thursday morning for MLB opening day, my favorite day of the year. More prepared than ever, and it's going to be an awesome year in the MLB street. So people that are considering signing up for RPS for that, get in early. It's going to be a print fest over here.
Yeah, we're getting ready. We're getting dialed in. We're already getting dialed in with the MLB stuff. Hitting next week, like DC said, Wednesday, Thursday, some good slates. So pumped for that. Can't wait for opening day. It's always a good day. Opening day is always a good day. Not even as a huge baseball guy like DC is, but opening day is pretty awesome. Day baseball is great. Honestly, like day baseball is very fun. So I love it when you can watch baseball throughout the day.
We got to give a shout out to Brittany with a nice takedown. I think she won. I saw it was a 4K win. Don't know exactly what tournament. I think it might have been a single entry. But yeah, she shouted us out in the Discord. I think I just played one lineup last night. I think I shared 5 of 8 or 6 of 8 players with her. But Khalil Ware did me in, JSU. The guy I thought was the safest.
That got a lot of us. Khalil Ware got a lot of us. It was the 4-point play on DraftKings. She shipped 4K to first.
Yeah.
She put up 378.5 too. Massive score. I mean, her lineup was just absolutely awesome. Appreciate the shout out in the Discord. Said she watched the show, all that stuff. So, but I mean, hey, Bones Highland, 3% owned DC. We talked about, she said she loved Bones. She said Bones was actually one of her first plugins in her lineup, which was that's a good call right there. And we talked about it. I couldn't believe when he was projecting at, what was it, like 5% yesterday? That was crazy. And he just smashed.
Yeah.
So yeah, she had a lot of good plays on there. Josh Hart, obviously.
We loved Hart. We loved Alvarado.
Durant was like your player of the
smashed.
day.
McDaniels.
Julius Randle.
Yeah.
The lineup was just full of, fire, pretty much. Just all fire in her lineup. So congrats to her. That's awesome. Just absolutely crushing it. And hopefully Brittany goes back to back here, takes it down tonight. But we'll see. 378.5. That's a tough score to top, DC.
I think I had 347. So a good lineup. I think I went about 10x on my entries, but nothing compared to what Brittany put up. So yeah, congrats again.
I'll tell you right now, the Paul Reed run was just very odd. I was definitely wrong about Paul Reed. That's for sure. Jalen Durant smashed, and Paul Reed got like 4 minutes in the first half of run. So it was very odd. Yeah. Did you see the rotations, DC? Did you watch any of that game?
No, I was just refreshing the app while I watched WBC, but I figured he wasn't doing a ton when Durant put up 57. So
yeah, it wasn't even. It was his rotation was just weird. Well, it doesn't matter. Durant smashed anyways, but it is what it is. Yeah, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Can't be right about everything. I was definitely wrong about Paul Reed, but when I say you got to have some hot on this show, and then Josh Hart comes out with a 54 ball, DC, that's big time right there. And on top of it, he did it scoring, DC, which is the funniest part. Because remember, you were like, should I use him in King of the Court? I think I should use him. And I was like, we can't use him. He doesn't score enough. And then he just smashes and puts up like, I don't know,
who won King of the Court? I had Randall. He had a good game.
I think Durant ended up winning, right?
I didn't see.
I think it was. So, yeah, it is what it is. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. Durant for 1K.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's what it was. I think Giddy was like 4 or 5 off. SGA was a couple off, right around there. But
you know who else I played, JSU? And one of the first times all year I played him, but I kind of talked myself onto him during the show. LaMelo with the 60.
You did talk about him on the show. Yeah, I didn't like LaMelo as much. He was awesome. That was definitely one guy that I wasn't on, but the rest, I mean, that lineup. Kevin Porter putting up the almost 50 ball, that was huge. He was kind of not as high owned, I guess, for his situation. So yeah, a great lineup from Brittany. Shout out to you. And hopefully some people profited from the show. I felt like we had a decent amount of good takes yesterday. Hopefully we can carry it over. Oh, I totally forgot too. My boy Jaden McDaniels just smashing, just way too cheap. Put up almost 40. There was another guy right there. We got those guys on a back-to-back. So we'll get to talk some T-Wolves again today. But what's going on, P. Lally? Appreciate you guys watching. Everyone watching, smash the like button on the video here if you enjoy these shows, if you appreciate these shows, if you love the almost on time start from me and DC here. Hit the like button. Let's get everyone together, DC. The people that like it, the people that don't like the on time, let's get them all together. Let's hit the like button, and let's hopefully get another successful show here today. DC, before we get into this 8-game slate, you got anything else for MLB? You got any other winners?
So most of the ones that I've given out previously have all gone down or up, whichever, the odds have gotten worse. But I'll continue to bang the McGonagall drum. Some news today. Looks like he is getting closer and closer to locking down that everyday role out of camp. his numbers, I think they've been cut in half since I recommended him for, I think, Rookie of the Year, some other stuff, but he still looks awesome. And then our guy, Nolan McLean, yesterday, JSU, I know the result wasn't perfect, but I mean, he's basically facing an all-star team or close to it in Venezuela. The stuff looked awesome. I mean, hitting 99 compared to 96-ish yesterday. I remain extremely bullish on Nolan McLean. And, you know, his WBC results weren't like flawless. So he really hasn't been moving up in drafts, and the odds haven't moved on him a ton. But from what I saw, and honestly, we have so much data on pitching these days that the stuff and the locations, they matter more than the short-term results in terms of trying to predict how a player is going to perform. And his stuff is off the charts. So get in on the McLean train, whether that's best ball, people doing season-long drafts, betting, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, strikeouts, wins, all that stuff. I still think he's undervalued.
And you kind of said that's what you were hoping would happen in a way. So it kind of worked out good.
All right. JSU has dropped off the face of the planet. Had enough baseball talk. There he is. He's back already.
I'm back. Everything's okay. Misclick with the finger here. And
I wasn't looking forward to the hour solo, so I'm glad you're back, JSU.
Yeah, no, that was literally, I've never done that before on my trackpad, but I like swipe my fingers to the left way too fast, and it literally just swiped me back to the screen before. I've never done that before on my trackpad. That was crazy. That happened so fast, but everything's fine. It's not an internet issue. I'm back. So, yep. See, bye JSU, and I'm back. And there we go. We got someone at least who's pretty impressed with the on time here. Thank you. Well done, boys. Appreciate it. The kid, stop being a hater. Just absolute hater. Anytime JSU picks the KOTC, I'm hammering alt unders, LOL. Damn you, the kid. Julius Randle wasn't that bad. I think he was like 5th or something like that. Again, just another non-winner, but he wasn't terrible. He wasn't that bad. Not a winner though, of course.
Hang the banner on another top 5 JSU.
Hang the banner right there. No, I will say this. I've had Reggie now for like 6 years. One thing he's never done is chew on cords. Just never. I don't know. There's cords all around the house. He could easily get into one if he wanted to. He's got free range in the house. It's all open. Never, DC, I don't know if you got dogs and you've seen that before. He's never chewed on a cord once.
Yeah, I don't have that problem either. My dog, she's 3, yellow lab. She likes to steal laundry, socks in particular. She'll grab them out of the hamper. She doesn't chew on them. She'll just like, sometimes, you know, if I'm busy on the show and doors are open and stuff, she'll have like a pile of like 11 socks in the living room after the show. But that's about all she does. It could be worse.
That's it. Reggie swallowed a pair of my wife's underwear when he was like 1. So that's like the only thing he's ever done. And since then he's been pretty solid. So not bad. Not bad track record from Reg. So yeah, we're good. All right, let's get into the NBA slate here. 8 games to talk about here. Let's start off with the Celtics at home against Golden State here. Jason Tatum, obviously looking for a little bounce back. Jaylen Brown with the massive game, I'm pretty sure, last time out, where he just went off, DC. He just absolutely smashed, put up 41 actual points in 40 minutes, which was just crazy, of course, after I felt like Tatum was starting to kind of take back his, and then Jaylen Brown's like, no, this one's mine. And he just went off in kind of a tough matchup too against Phoenix here. And now they get Golden State. The other guy on the other side, Kristaps Porzingis, a little revenge maybe for old Kristaps here. He nuked last slate as well. I did not like him as much. And he only played like 25 or 26 minutes. But in that time, he absolutely crushed as well. A lot of scoring. I don't know if he's got that in him. The price tag has gone up on him as well. So I don't know if you're going to be interested in Kristaps Porzingis, But he gets his old team tonight. Do we get a little revenge factor for old Kristaps?
Kristaps probably not for me tonight. I think I generally bet against two big Kristaps games back to back. Like, we don't know what's going on with his health, but he seems like a guy who might need a couple days to recover from a big performance. Golden State as a whole, I really don't like all that much. I mean, I think Porzingis is fine. But really, I mean, who else are you really going to play from Golden State? I just don't have a ton of interest in this team. They seem a little overpriced to me. I think Boston's more interesting. I mean, Tatum, he's played 32 minutes in each of the last two games, played 27 in each of the first three. I don't know if they're going to extend him much beyond 32, but the trend certainly seems to suggest that at least could be a possibility. And he's been a monster on a per-minute basis. I mean, he's kind of looked pretty close to his normal self. And he's a 10K player even on this roster, or close to it, I think. And he's at 8,700 in a pretty good matchup against Golden State. So I like Tatum a little bit. I think you could play Jaylen Brown too. I mean, he was, up at 9,900, 10K before Tatum came back. It's going to be hard to predict with Boston, I think, on who it's going to be on a night-to-night basis. I mean, we had that problem even before Tatum with Brown, White, and Pritchard. Obviously, add Tatum to the mix, it gets even tougher. But I don't hate Tatum at 8,700. Brown, I think, is in play. I think those are the only two, though, for me that I'm really considering from Boston. Like you said, I think Pritchard and White, they'll have their big games from time to time, but I think in general, they're going to be taking more of a backseat to the two true stars on the team. To me, that's Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So those are the two guys I'm really looking at from this game overall.
So no interest in Golden State whatsoever for you. It sounds like you're not in on any of these guys.
I mean, we're going to get to the Wolves again, but missing Edwards and now Naz Reid, and they're playing Utah. I mean, they're going to take up a lot of my roster. So kind of a high bar to clear. I think I'm out on Golden State.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, Golden State's not a team that I like to trust anyways. I'll keep saying, and it's funny, DeAnthony Melton had a big game last time out. I'll keep saying, like, he's the guy. I feel like he's a perfect tournament play, DC, because it's kind of hit or miss with him. There's not a lot of in-between, I feel like, but when he hits, he's pretty good for tournaments, and he's normally low owned because of the floor not being as consistent with someone like him. So I always like Anthony Melton for tournaments. I probably, again, won't play Kristaps Porzingis 6,200. Who knows? Maybe he gets more run. I don't know. I think they're being somewhat careful with him. He played, 22 and 26 minutes the last two games. So maybe they are ramping him up a little. And he's put up 50 points combined in those two games, 30 and 20. So he's definitely, looking pretty good offensively. So you could make the case that if the minutes go up a little more, DC, maybe Porzingis is interesting. The only way I would have interest in him, though, is if I saw him like in the starting lineup or something like that. Because then I'd feel very confident his minutes would go up. Yeah,
he's probably not for me tonight, but I definitely think he's reasonable. I mean, you saw the upside. We've seen it from him a lot throughout his career. I just have doubts about him able to do it a second game in a row.
Yeah, so this is Steven says Tatum got 4 minutes at the 5 last game. They're playing Kata 30, phasing Garza out for the playoffs. I think they will experiment with more Tatum small ball lineups. I love this take. This is a great take right here. And one that makes a lot of sense. Garza is someone that in the regular season, they can play. But when it comes to the postseason, I definitely think he's a guy. And don't forget, Vucevic is going to come back at some point too. So he's a guy they're already planning on not being in the rotation. Whether that means Vucevic and Kata are splitting the 5, or Tatum is playing some of this small ball 5, which I definitely think the Celtics should experiment with. And hey, a team like Golden State, it's kind of a perfect team to experiment against with the small ball lineup. right, DC? Because I mean, like I get they have Porzingis, but they're starting Draymond at the 5. Like, okay, you can play some in those scenarios. You can play some Tatum against those type of lineups here. And Porzingis is not really, he's more of a finesse center anyways, who likes to hang out in the perimeter. So yeah, I love that take. And I'm with you. I like Tatum in this spot. JB had his game last game. I think we go back to the Tatum spot. I think they're slowly ramping his minutes up too. So I wonder if we could possibly see Jason Tatum eclipse the 32, get up past that, maybe get like the 34, 35 minutes. Because I do think they're slowly trying to build him up in this situation here to get him ready for the playoffs, where you got to play big minutes and you got to roll over after a day of rest and play big minutes again. So yeah, I think he's the play here. And like I said, on Golden State, I think I'm more like Melton or nothing, but not that I need anything from Golden State. The rest of Boston, though, outside of spending up for a Tatum or Brown, I don't see the reason to even think about.
Yep. I'm bored with everything there.
Yeah. This is only 7 p.m. game. Let's start the slate at 7:30. You could honestly do that, because even though I like Jason Tatum and I will personally probably play Jason Tatum, you could just make the case, hey, I'm just going to backload and take this game out. And you never know what type of news, could drop. So yeah, I don't hate that, but Dagger says, how many Wolves in a lineup max, DC? There's a question for you. We haven't gotten to the Wolves yet, but what do you normally do in these situations? Good situations. Are you like a 3 max guy? Can you go 4 or 5? What do you think?
I'm willing to go 4 or 5, but usually on shorter slates. In this one, we have 8 games tonight on the main slate. And the Wolves prices did come up kind of across the board from yesterday as well. Obviously missing Naz Reid.
As they should, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And I haven't built lineups yet, but I would say I would be surprised if, 3, I think for sure. And maybe 4. Probably wouldn't do 5 tonight, though.
I will say this. As we go through the slate of games, it'll make it easier, or it'll kind of make my answer, because it's kind of dependent upon how many other situations we have that I feel like I need. Because I definitely feel like I need Minnesota.
Yes.
The question is how many Minnesota is what you asked. And my answer might vary depending on if there's another situation or two that I feel close to as strongly about. I don't know if there will be. So honestly, this could be a slate where I could say 4, is fine for Minnesota. But yeah, we'll leave it at that for now, and can bring it back up at the end of the show here. But I think me and DC are pretty close here. It is a really good spot for Minnesota. We'll get back to that one in a sec. Let's go to not so great of a spot here, DC, OKC, and Brooklyn's games in Brooklyn. OKC obviously coming off a game last night, and they're playing again today, and they will be out Isaiah Hartenstein tonight. Only played 16 minutes, but he's going to be out. And then you've got I think Chet, who's questionable for this game. And is he still questionable, DC?
Yes. Yep, questionable.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if he was still questionable. So if he's out, we go right back to my boy J Dub, whatever his nickname is, the Jalen with the Y, the big boy, who has just been awesome this year. At 6K though, DC, if Chet's in, can we still play J Will is the question.
If he starts, they could start Chet at the 4. They probably wouldn't. They'd probably start Chet at the 5. But if he does start, especially if Chet's out, obviously, yeah, I think you can pay the 6K price tag. I mean, he's got 250 burger, actually 3 if you go back, 10 or 12 games, and those all came, I think, when he started 35 minutes, 33 minutes, 40 minutes, and those 3 big performances. So It does kind of seem like he he needs the minutes, as most players do, to put up a ceiling type game. But like, he's done it in, I don't know, 3 of his last 4 or 5 starts, something like that. So yeah, I said it yesterday with Clue Ware, didn't prove true. But anytime you can realistically hope for like 45 or 50 out of a 6K player, I'm going to have a lot of interest. And that would be the case with Jalen Williams tonight, if especially Chet is out. Elsewhere on OKC, and I'm not going too crazy with this game in general. It's really low total and expected to be a potential blowout. AJ Mitchell, though, didn't have a great game yesterday. I mean, he didn't kill you at 22 for 5K, but the point, he got the minutes again, 28 minutes, didn't have a good shooting night. I think he's a good play again at 5K, but like I said, I'm not going to go too crazy with this game. And yeah, always happy when the Nets aren't projecting well, because I don't like to play them, and it doesn't look like you even need to consider them tonight.
No, the Nets are not a team I will be considering tonight after they've you never know what they're going to do. They got enough bodies to where it's just going to irritate you, I think, playing or trying to figure out the one net. Again, if you're someone who's playing 150 lineups and you want to try and go in there and bump 1 or 2 cheapies up and try and figure out which net it could be to give you a big game, you could. But if you're building like 3 teams, I just don't see why you could play the Nets. But OKC, back to OKC, I definitely think they could have very good plays on the slate. I know the total's not that great, but we talked about Jay Will in his game. I think AJ Mitchell is a great play as well at 5K. No Lou Dort. So, I mean, some of these secondary guys get a little bit of a bump here. DC, maybe even a Jared McCain spot where he could get a little bump. He's played well when his minutes go up a little bit. He's 3,800. So I definitely think there's plays on OKC. Not that you got to like absolutely load up. I will say this though, if Chet's out, I'm playing Jay Will and AJ Mitchell, and that's like final. If that's out. Now, if Chet's in, but Jay Will still somehow starts, DC, I'll still like Jay Will. I just won't feel like I need to slam him in every single lineup if Chet's in, but I will still play some of Jay Will just because I love this spot. And I love the fact that this year he's clearly way more aggressive offensively. He's just not afraid. And maybe it's because so many of their guys have been out. He's gotten comfortable in a different role. That could be it too, but he's clearly, expanded upon his role as a player and gotten a lot more comfortable being aggressive when guys are out. And you can see it in the scoring, DC. That's one thing that I've noticed. Just he's way more aggressive, shooting threes, and that just shows confidence when you're big and you're in games and teams are your team is letting you shoot 7, 8 threes, 10 threes in a single game. That shows confidence for a guy like Jalen Williams. So I really like him. Hopefully he gets the start. Hopefully they sit Chet, and then it's just an easy conversation here. I rather play AJ than SGA. Yeah, because you'd rather spend less money in this game. I don't think it's a game where you want to spend up. Yeah, could SGA crush 100%? But in a blowout, those cheap guys have a way better chance of getting there than your 11-1 stud, because you're assuming your 11-1 stud didn't play his maximum amount or ceiling amount of minutes, whereas AJ Mitchell doesn't probably have to play his ceiling amount of minutes to get you over the 5K price tag. So it kind of makes sense from that standpoint. Ostastic says, I'd rather play McCain over both. Yeah, I think it's J. Will, AJ, and McCain are the 3 plays that I would even think about from this game. That's really it. So
I'm with you. I think if Chet's out, Jay Will is clearly the best play. I like AJ Mitchell regardless if Chet is in or out, but not as much as Jay Will. And then, McCain would be the 3rd guy. I don't think I'm going beyond those 3 in this one, though.
Yeah. I think 2 of those plays should be solid anyways, but at the price tags. I'd like to see Chet out as well. All right, that's it from this game. Like we said, nothing. Wish we could talk more about the Brooklyn side, but the Brooklyn side is just absolutely disgusting, and I rather not on an 8-game slate with 16 teams playing DC. I think we can find better plays than the Brooklyn guys. So yeah, thoughts on SGA against the weak squad, trying to boost his MVP odds by going honestly, I think his MVP odds are, I think he's pretty locked in as long as he plays. I don't think it's going to matter, DC, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to matter as much what he does. They're the best team in the NBA right now. That's probably not changing. He's going to, as long as he plays, he's going to score when he's out there. So, like, the scoring's going to look good. The winning's going to look good. I don't see how, like I said, as long as he doesn't like miss games or miss enough games to be ineligible, I don't see how he doesn't probably stay the odds-on favorite and probably win it at this point.
Yeah, I think he'll win. He seems healthy now. I mean, I don't think he's like a bad play necessarily, but I agree.
I just don't subscribe to like, oh yeah, he's gonna boost his odds by whooping on Brooklyn. Like, I don't think that's what he's thinking about going into Brooklyn. Like, yeah, I'm gonna boost my MVP odds when I drop 40 on Brooklyn tonight. I don't think he's thinking that.
I like to take a stroll down narrative street, but I'm not quite buying this one.
Yeah, I don't either personally. Could he do it? Yeah, of course he could. He can drop 40 on any team he wants. He's that good of a scorer.
Yeah.
All right. Next game up here, Portland and Indiana, DC. Indiana, another team. We got a lot of questionable tags here. We got to figure out what, some of these guys are doing, whether they're in, they're out. I was surprised some of these guys played. Was it yesterday? Like Zubac, he got 26 minutes against the Knicks. I was kind of surprised he got to play a little bit. Maybe they're pushing. Maybe some of those guys are pushing a little bit to get their feet wet and play some hoops, DC. But what are we doing with Portland? Portland looks like there's a couple good plays projecting pretty well.
Indiana side first. I mean, it's the same thing as yesterday, right? Like, pretty much the entire roster is questionable, and we just don't know who's going to play. I mean, I'm honestly probably most likely thing is the guys that played yesterday sit out tonight, and the guys that sat out yesterday are in there. Like, that kind of seems what Indiana's doing right now, but obviously no way to know for sure. You always have to say with Indiana, if they sit out so many guys that they're down to 8 or something, then yeah, you got to consider these guys, but we just don't have any idea what they're going to look like when it all comes down to it. So it's one of those spots where you're at an advantage being, in the RPS Discord or a member, because we'll have better answers on Indiana once we get.
It's kind of like the Washington situation in a way, DC. Remember, the dude was inactive. Like, right after we got off the show, they were like, "Oh, who was it? Was it Reese? Who was the?"
Yeah, Reese was ruled out.
And then we were like, "Oh shit, okay, this has to make like Champagny a little bit of a better play." Even though we didn't love Washington, it was like it's got to make somebody a better play.
Yeah.
And it's the same situation here. Once we get the news, we'll be able to react to. Like, TJ was a better play once we got the news, but like once we get it, we can react to it. People can ask questions in there. So it's definitely beneficial to, the members, obviously, because we'll be in Discord and you can just ask us questions right in there.
100%. So that's Indiana. I mean, just hard to talk about with so many questionable guys. Portland, like you said, I think they got some interesting plays here. Obviously, the matchup doesn't get much better than facing this league worst Pacers team right now that is only getting worse and trying to lose games. I mean, I kind of like playing players against teams that are trying to lose. Seems like they have a good chance to play well themselves. So I do like Portland. I mean, Avdia, he missed a couple weeks around the All-Star break with the injury, but his minutes have been up these last 4 games, 32 plus in each of the last 4. Hasn't put up monster performances, but also hasn't shot the ball super well. We did see earlier in the season, mid-season, a lot of big games from Avdia. They do have Scoot Henderson now. They didn't have him before. and Holiday also playing big minutes. So I don't think he's in quite the same like true. He was like basically a point guard for a while for Portland with Holiday and Scoot in there. It's not quite the same role, but the matchup's awesome. Price is good at 8,800. So I like Avdia. Klingon. We've been big Klingon guys on this show. Minutes can be a little inconsistent, but in this matchup, if he does get the minutes, if it is close, stays out of foul trouble, feels like a potential 50-plus fantasy point game for Klingon. Kind of like the Duran call yesterday. Just the matchup is so good for a guy who should just be able to crush on the interior here. So I like Avdia, Klingon. Those are my two favorite for sure. I do think Jeremy Grant, Kamara, Holiday, they're all okay plays, but Avdia and Klingon, the guys that I'm looking most closely at.
Yeah, a couple things. So Julius asked about Ethan Thompson. We're going to need a bunch of guys out to get the Ethan Thompson, and the Pacers. So I would just be looking at who's in, who's out. If they start ruling out a shitload of guys, then maybe you can start to look at plays like that. But right now, he's not in play until
I really hope I don't have Ethan Thompson on my roster when that comes.
Well, before we get new, we can't even consider a play like that until we see how many guys are out. So, and D Mill says, why bother with Pacers with all the value out there? Yeah, that's a good point. Like you could just pretend like the Pacers don't exist because you don't want to deal with it. That's a fair take as well. I think it's very fair. It's honestly something I might do.
One of the nice things about kind of projections and ownerships ruling the industry is if like the Pacers do get all of those guys rules out, the ownerships will go way up where you can still fade them because everybody's on them, right? Whereas like 10 years ago, you would just kind of have to go to the value because most people wouldn't realize what it was, but it's a different game now.
Yeah, you were getting a leg up going to the value because you knew that, everyone really didn't know. So you had an advantage over the field. Now it's, the opposite pretty much. You kind of can use the no to your advantage going the other way, pretty much is the way.
Maybe I just tell myself that when I don't want to play some chalk.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right with that.
Makes sense in my head, at least.
It made sense to me. Projections kind of rule the day in NBA, and we all know that, guys just follow that blindly, whether they're right or wrong. And some people win doing that. That's fair, but you can also use it to your advantage the other way. Robert Williams gonna smash in his 20 minutes. Yeah, I think Robert Williams, it does seem like when he's in DC, Donovan Klingon's minute ceiling comes down a little bit. And when he's out, it can kind of go up. So I don't hate the take of Robert Williams. I think that, he's a value play. He's a pretty good value play here. And I like Denny as a spend up. I think this is a really good spot for Denny. If this game stays close, he's shown that, he can play like 38 minutes 2 games ago against Philly, had 47 there. I think he's a pretty good play here, pretty good spend up. I don't really like the mid range with this team, like Holiday, Grant, Kamara. I really love that range.
I think Avdia is clearly the best play on Portland. Sounds like you're in agreement.
Yeah, I do too. And then I think it's just like the bigs are a good situation to be invested in if you like Klingon or you like Robert Williams. I think it's pretty similar, like you said, in a way to how we felt about Detroit yesterday. Where it's like, okay, we think one of them's probably going to be good. Just depends on like who gets the minutes and stuff like that. So, so that's Portland. I don't love Huff. It's just another guy with straight kind of inconsistencies when it comes to minutes. But if Zubac's out, I think you can make more of a case if Zubac and or Potter kind of sit. We'll see if they do, though. I will also say, too, I don't love Klingon matchup as much if Zubac is in. I would rather Zubac be out for Donovan Klingon. So
agreed.
Yeah. All right. That is Portland, Indiana. Guys, don't forget, smash the like button on the video. Check us out, runpuresports.com. Tons of sports happening and going on. March Madness starting tomorrow. We got the UFC card on Saturday, which we will be doing a show for tomorrow. So 1 p.m. Eastern time, me and Mike are going to record that show in the afternoon. So if you're into the MMA streets, it is an early card on Saturday. So if you're into MMA, start times at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So instead of doing it like super early in the morning on Saturday, we're going to do it tomorrow in the afternoon. So check that show out, 1 p.m. You'll be able to rewatch, though, obviously, if you can't make it live. And yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Baseball starts next week. It's going to be a fun time over at Run Pure Sports. Get in now. Let's go to the next game here, DC, Toronto and Chicago. And I'll just leave it with this, DC. A lot of these Toronto plays are projecting really well right now.
Yeah, Chicago's defense non-existent. So you see the big 235 total in this one with Toronto favored by 7. So, pretty close to a 120-point projection team total for Toronto, which is going to have them projecting well. I mean, this is kind of how it works. I think that a lot of the projections start with how many points in general do we expect the team to score? Then you distribute the points and stats from there. And yeah, so when you're expected to have a big game as a team offensively, the individual players are going to look good. Hard to argue with it too much. But I'll have this. I mean, honestly, I've kind of had the same take all year on this Toronto team when they've had all 4 of these guys healthy: Barrett, Barnes, Ingram, and Quickly. It's hard for me to pick one out of the group that's going to have the big game. And I kind of think that's true tonight. I think all these guys will probably be pretty solid in this matchup against Chicago. So no shade on people, playing Toronto guys. But there are just players that I like better than RJ Barrett at 7,300 and 20% owned, or even, Scotty Barnes at 8,400 and 10% owned. I think there are better, like, I don't know, Avdia versus Barnes. To me, it's very clearly Avdia at a similar forward price point. So Toronto seems okay. And, probably the best move would just, if you think you can narrow it down, pick your favorite Toronto guy and you're going to be in good shape. I mean, I'd probably actually go to the guards. Seem like maybe a Quickly, right, against Giddey and Trey Jones backcourt. That's probably where he can win offensively. So I'm probably not getting to Toronto. I do think they're fine plays. Chicago, though, is pretty interesting. I mean, we've seen the Giddey resurgence. This is what he was doing at the beginning of the year when everything kind of flowed through him. And then things changed a little bit. They got some more guards, got a little healthier. He got, a little banged up and the production fell way off. But 4 60-point fantasy games in a row, they're really, really banged up, right? They're missing Ivy, Okoro's doubtful, Sexton's questionable, Anthony Simons has been out with that wrist injury. So it's been the Josh Giddey show again, and he's proven time and time again, JSU, when he's got the whole offense, when he's got the keys to it, when he gets the ball, and he's got the ball all game, he puts up big, big performances. So not a perfect matchup here, but man, it's hard to ignore 4 60-point fantasy games in a row. And now he's in a similar or maybe even better situation.
Yeah. First off, I'll just say Jake asked the question. I'll answer it. I feel like they're so close to me that I would say Denny, just because I think Denny's minute ceiling is a little bit higher than Tatum's by like a decent amount. So that would be my lean. But they're very close. So that's definitely a tough question, Jake. And then people are talking about Ingram. I see Ingram and Giddey. BI's crushed in this spot last time. I think if I were to spend up for someone, it would be BI. This is a matchup that BI should be able to just absolutely dominate and get to any spot he wants on the floor. I will say BI is a guy that I generally don't love playing when everyone's healthy, but I do think it's a really good matchup for him. I also like Jakob Poeltl a little bit. He did smash last time out. He's not projecting as good maybe as some of his other teammates here, but still projecting decent, and I think really good spot for him as well to have another big game. So I like Jakob Poeltl. D Mills asks Poeltl or Gobert. I say, why not both? D Mills, you can play both here in this spot. If you make me pick, though, probably Rudy, just because I'd lean Minnesota plays so in general. So yeah, another.
I'll agree with Rahul for the first time in this show's history. And
Wow.
I kind of like, I definitely like the Giddey call. The Ingram one makes more sense looking at what Chicago's going to roll out there at guards. I mean, they're going to have either Giddey or Jones open on him. I mean, neither of those guys is going to be able to stop the kind of game that Brandon Ingram brings, right? Kind of a shifty scorer, like both too slow-footed and just can't move well enough. So I like the Ingram call.
Beanair says he'll take Curry. So just to throw you back on against Raul, we got to get you and Raul back fighting again. We can't have you guys on the same sides here. But D Mills, you play on the other side. Rudy, there you go, Rudy. I got you. Outside of those plays here, just looking at Chicago, I mean, Leonard Miller's been playing a decent amount. I don't hate it. He is 4,800 though. Price tag starting to come up. Even Dillingham has had a few good games in a row. DC, he's looked pretty good, but he's 4,400 now. I think those are like fringe plays, more like MME plays. Got to make sure Colin Sexton stays out. I think for this team as well, he's questionable for Dillingham, but I think those are fringe MME plays right there that you can consider.
Sexton matters a lot for all of Giddey, Jones, and Dillingham. All three guys, I think, are pretty good plays if Sexton's out. But yeah, we'll see on that.
All right, Raul's coming. Rudy is the worst play today. All right, Raul, we can fight today. That's fine. You can be on DC side and fight JSU. We'll see who wins. Yeah, good spot though. Good spot to target. I think there's a lot of plays in this game that you can make cases for here. Josh Giddey's definitely one of them. Any interest in Jalen Smith? Andrew Martinez says Jalen Smith for me, 5,400. It's a tough spot, but yeah, the minutes he's playing, I think are good enough. I think you can get to him, DC. I personally probably won't because I have other centers I want to play. Oh, wait, he is power forward, though. No, he's center only. So, yeah, I probably won't get to him, but I do think he's in play.
Yeah, I would say interest in him is, a fair way to put it, but I'm with you. I don't think he'll end up on my actual rosters tonight.
Kyle Anderson will outscore Rudy. Booked. I'm going to pull the Mangone. Booked. You just booked it right there. Kyle Anderson to outscore Rudy. Honestly, Kyle Anderson might be a decent play too, depending on.
No, what Mangone would do is he would accept the bets, but demand plus 700 or something. Try to. I guess it doesn't work.
I'd want even odds. Odds.
Yeah,
Kyle Anderson and Rudy is what I want. I want even.
It's the other way. Yeah.
I want even odds for Kyle Anderson against Rudy, booked with Raul right there. Tripping Rudy going for 18 and 20. Yeah, we're probably like 18 and 20. That's a lot. Let's go like 15 and 15 or something like that. I think we'll get there. But yeah, no, I like some Rudy here. All right, DC, that is Toronto and Chicago. Let's go to the game. Feels like everyone wants to talk about it anyways, and we already just started talking about it a little bit. Minnesota and Utah, where we get, again, no Anthony Edwards, out for a week or two, and Naz Reid, who kind of got banged up yesterday, I think, a little bit, but he came back. He only had to play, I think, 18 minutes, though.
He was. I watched this game. I had a lot of Wolves on my team, and they're my team anyway. But he was clearly limping around the court. I expected him to be out today.
I was going to say I would be shocked if he doesn't sit against Utah.
He's rolled out already. He's out.
Okay. So we got that news. I was going to say I'd be shocked if he wasn't sitting, but now Raul makes a little more sense with his Kyle Anderson love, because now I definitely think you can make a case for Kyle Anderson. And I also think it makes Rudy and some of these guys better plays. I think it just makes Minnesota as a whole, DC, better plays. The plays I don't get as much of, though, like I like Bones again. Dante at 6K. I didn't really love him yesterday. I like Jaden Moore. I like Jaden Moore again. I mean, Julius Randle's, I think, a smash if you want to spend up. So, yeah, I mean, how are you ranking these Minnesota guys? Because that's kind of more, we all like Minnesota. So it's not about, yes, we like Minnesota. It's more about like, okay, how are you ranking these values and studs?
I actually ranked them similar to what I did yesterday. My three favorite, the three guys I played on my team were Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and Randall. All three of whom, Dosunmu was a little disappointing, but he was fine as a value. I think it's those three guys again. We both like Bones. I almost got him in my lineup, not quite. DiVincenzo had like his worst game of the year. 9 fantasy point shot, 0 for 8.
And Bones was smashing too, which he does.
And so he lost his minutes to Bones. I wouldn't necessarily expect that to happen again, right? I think the most likely thing is DiVincenzo plays better and gets those minutes back. So I think he's kind of a fun bounce back play. Bones at 44%, man. I think off the big game, I think some people are going to see the 29 minutes he played yesterday without Anthony Edwards and think that's like the new baseline in minutes for Bones. And I don't feel that way at all. I would put him around 20 minutes tonight would be my guess. So again, still not a bad value, but just, I think maybe an over-owned one to me at 44% for Bones Highland, who did see a $600 price increase as well. But yeah, Dosunmu, I mean, if you watch the games yesterday, obviously with kind of the changing rotation, it's pretty clear he's a big, big piece of this team right now. 5K against the worst backcourt defense in the league in the Utah Jazz. Hard for me to get away from Dosunmu. I'm playing Randall, probably playing McDaniels, and I like the Kyle Anderson shout. He was playing the backup 5 yesterday. I think he'll be the backup 5 behind Gobert and play alongside Gobert as well. And like, we've seen it over the years, JSU. When Anderson gets the minutes, he's a pretty damn good per minute producer. And if you watch that game too, he was like kind of bringing the ball up the court at times, had a pretty big role overall. You give him a good, easy matchup here. 4K. I like the Anderson shout.
Yeah. I think it's, you want, obviously, like Julius Randle's a really good play. And then you get like your Jaden McDaniels, Rudy, but Kyle Anderson and Bones are like the next two guys. I'd probably go Bones 1, Kyle Anderson 2. I think he can, again, just based off of play, I think he can take minutes from somebody here. And with no Nas too, I think they might need his scoring even more in a spot like this. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Bones makes a lot more sense when they're missing like Ant in a way, because Ant does just so much offensively. They need those like score first guards. And if Dante's not playing well, I mean, Bones can definitely be it.
I mean,
Rudy's not more of a score first guy. Jaden McDaniels is defense first, even though I think he can be a top tier guy, and neither is Kyle Anderson. So you can make the case like half of the guys in their rotation really aren't true scorers. And Naz Reid was one of them, DC. So now you pull Ant and Naz Reid off the floor. I think it's going to be very interesting to see some of these rotations for this Minnesota team.
Look at the projections for Minnesota. I mean, Saber, it's going to be a very, very tight rotation for Minnesota tonight. They're trying to win every game, obviously.
Yep.
In the thick of a playoff hunt. You know, they've got the 7 guys that we've talked about, all of whom the top 7 for Minnesota, I think, are good plays. And then, you know, Behringer, they've got in the rotation as well. But I don't think it's going to go beyond those 8 for Minnesota. And Behringer, if he doesn't play well, he won't get many minutes. So this will be a very, very tight rotation. If you're heavy on Minnesota, these guys are all going to be on the court all game long against Utah, and they're not that expensive. So I think you got to be in pretty heavy on Minnesota here.
So to answer Dagger's question, I want 4. I think I want 4 on all my teams.
I like it.
They just play way too. DC's right. They play way too tight of a rotation. They're trying to win games. And even if this game did blow out, I think it still means some of these guys at these price tags are getting there.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
give me 4. And yeah, I mean, on an 8-game slate, that's saying something here where we got other good plays. But I definitely want, honestly, like the more I think about it, the more I want like Jaden, Bones, Kyle as 3 of them, and then probably one of Rudy or Randall is how I'd mix the 5 guys that I have the most interest in, which I think is different from the field because Io is going to be extremely popular. Dante again will get some ownership, so I think I'll still be somewhat different, even though all these guys are going to get ownership. DC, it's more about how you go about playing them here. So that's kind of how I rank them. Maybe a little different from.
If I was making rules for this game, like the guys that I would be most likely to separate on any individual team would be Dante and Bones. I think those 2 are competing for minutes, and then Anderson and Rudy are the other 2 that I think. The other ones, though, I think are really safe with the minutes.
I agree because the other guys are like locked into their minutes. Like if Jaden's not in foul trouble, DC, he's playing big minutes in a close game.
100%.
That's not going to change. You know what I mean? And I think
that's true for Io as well.
Io, yeah, I was going to say, because those guys, they love their defense. So like those guys, even if their offensive game is not flowing, like their defense kind of keeps them in it no matter what. So yeah, those guys are locked.
I'm not sure yet with, still got to wait on some news, but I think maybe 5 Minnesota could be on the winner tonight as well.
So it wouldn't be crazy the way they play their rotations. You need the game to go perfect, though. You need
four is probably the answer. I agree. If I had to put it on one number, it would definitely be 4.
What about Utah, DC? Anybody make your list on Utah? Cody Williams has been smashing the last few games.
Yeah, I think Cody's fine. He is my favorite among Utah, and it would be nice to have runbacks I felt confident in, but it's tough. Obviously not a great matchup against the Wolves. Even Collier's minutes without Keontae George still stuck around 25 to 30, and the price hasn't changed. I mean, 7,900. Yeah, these guys seem just kind of priced out to me. I mean, 6,600 Sensabaugh. I don't think I'm getting too much Utah here.
Yeah, I kind of hope Ace can play. Kind of hope we get another body in there, so I really don't have to even think about Utah. If Ace is out, though, I do think it bumps Cody. But at 5,700, I don't think you need to play him, or Collier's not getting the minutes or the minutes we want. Bryce is too expensive, I think. Filipowski, same thing, not getting the minutes we probably want at that price tag. So, yeah, I don't think you need to play Utah in these situations either way. So, more obviously Minnesota side here, DC. 3 more games left to talk about. Let's roll through them here. Clippers and the Pelicans. Big news coming for the Clippers here. Kawhi Leonard questionable in a good spot against the Pels. And they're already missing Benedict Mathurin, who's out for this game here, which is a big piece, DC, because he was a bench guy playing starters minutes. Yeah.
I mean, if Kawhi is in, he's one of the plays that, I mean, what is he projected at? 17%. If that Q tag persists through lock, there's no way he'll be that high. These players are always, I don't think this ownership number from SaberSim takes into account the questionable tag. It's just based off the position and the projection. So I do like, if you can make it work with your lineup build, I do like putting someone Kawhi in there. It starts same time as Minnesota game, so should be kind of plenty of ways to manipulate the roster, right? If you have to, if he ends up being out. But yeah, I do think he's an interesting play against the Pelicans. I mean, amazing matchup. But obviously it's even more interesting if he sits, right? Because, man, this team does not have much in the way of scoring if Kawhi is out, along with Mathurin. I mean, who would be even their primary scorer in that situation? I mean, John Collins is a big. They've got what? Miller,
Jordan Miller, Hooper, Jordan Miller.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have hoopers, right? And he might be the last one left. So
they got Darius Garland. He's a hooper.
Yeah. Garland. Sorry, I forgot about Garland. Garland, Miller. If Kawhi's out, I think both look good. I think those two would be the two guys I'd focus most on.
Yeah, it's Garland. It's Garland for me because
yeah.
Garland. Even I know, and I know he's priced up, and I know he's disappointed at times. But even if Kawhi's in, I think you can make the case with no Benedict Mathurin, with the rest of the roster the way it is. It's Darius Garland. I mean, Darius Garland has to be a pretty decent play here, and he's not projecting for very much ownership right now, 3%.
Yeah.
And obviously, DC, if we get Kawhi out, that's going to skyrocket, right? Like, that's going to change Darius Garland probably. But at the same time, what if we get the news like after lock? What if we get the news at 7:30? Maybe you get Darius Garland at a little, still not as much ownership as he would be on a normal slate if we got the news earlier. So I think Darius Garland's a good tournament play here. I think Jordan Miller is also a good tournament play. I would like Jordan Miller. I would like Kawhi to be out for Jordan Miller, but I still think Jordan Miller can outdo that price tag in this game because they just need offensive guys. They need guys who can put the ball in the bucket, and he is one of those guys. He's shown it before, and I think he's a decent.
Also, matchup too. New Orleans plays super fast, not very good defense. So I'm on board with Clippers here.
Yep. And in the New Orleans side, DC, DeJounte Murray back, pretty healthy here for the most part. I think it's DeJounte or Trey or kind of bust for me with some of these guys. Like I don't Carlo, Yves Mises, Derek Queen. I think they all affect each other a little bit, hanging out in that 4K range when everyone's healthy. So I think it's just, do you want to play a DeJounte or a Trey Murphy in this spot?
I don't mind either guy. I think I prefer DeJounte slightly, but I think both are fine plays. And Pelicans are favored to win this game with the 235 total. So if Kawhi's out, that's going to hurt the Pelicans defense overall. The Clippers without Kawhi, I bet they speed up with Garland running the show, and their defense drops off as well, obviously with Kawhi being one of the better defenders in the game. So New Orleans could be sneaky here. Not getting much ownership, right? DeJounte getting – okay, he's got some ownership, 26%.
He's got some.
Not much on Trey, but the more we talk about this slate, this Clippers-Pelicans game looks really good to me. Obviously, especially if Kawhi sits, the Minnesota side is clearly the best one on the slate. And we've got 2 more games to talk about. So I think backloading lineups could be a pretty good way to be tonight.
Yeah, it's EC Bets Live says Kobe Sanders still cheap. Yes, he's definitely – there's another guy. I think he gets a bump with Mathurin out. And if Kawhi's out, he becomes an awesome value play at 3,300. So that's a good shout. I like that call here. Ostastic's asking about Lopez, and I rather just punch myself in the nuts repeatedly than play Brook Lopez in 2026. But I will say, from a matchup standpoint, DC, it's a solid matchup for big. So I get the idea, and they need offense if Kawhi's out. But I rather go somewhere else at center. Honestly, anywhere else.
You summed it up eloquently. I'm not playing Brook Lopez either. So
you are punching yourself in the nuts repeatedly instead of playing.
If I have to keep him off my rosters, I'll do it.
All right, there we go. That is Clippers and Pelicans here. 2 more games left. Denver and Memphis here. Let's go to that game next. And the play here, I think most people are going to be looking for spend ups here, DC. We already have value plays on this slate, although you could pull a value, I think, from this game. I don't think it's needed as much. So no Aaron Gordon, though, is the news from Denver. No Aaron Gordon. Peyton Watson's still out. Jokic coming off a stinker. Is it just, kind of Jokic or bust, DC?
I think so. I mean, Spencer Jones projecting well here. I personally don't think it's a slate for someone like Spencer Jones. I just think there are just some really awesome values that make him a little bit expendable on this particular slate. But yeah, Jokic, I mean, you know, I think I kind of have a different approach maybe than some with Jokic. Like, he's never the first guy in for me. It's can I make him fit? Because he's just so expensive. And, you know, at 12.5K, you need like 65 plus out of him, which he may very well get here. So if he fits, yeah, I would love to have Jokic in my lineup. I just can't say right now if he'll end up fitting my final builds. I mean, I think like Murray's fine at 9K, but again, I doubt I'll end up getting there myself. So yeah, Jokic or bust. I mean, you said it. And thankfully, not a lot to play on Memphis. I know you'll make the case for your guy, Ty Jerome, but just the minutes, man. It's just the same problem every slate.
Yeah, the minutes are brutal. The player's great. The situation is great. Like the matchup, the role, everything about Ty Jerome other than the minutes is amazing. I want to play Ty Jerome, but I'm with you, DC. There's so many good guards, I feel like, on this slate. The more we talk through this slate, we talked about so many spend up guards. You know, I like Darius Garland. You like Josh Giddey. I think DeJounte Murray's a pretty good guard play as a spend up. I just rather get to those type of plays or go down to the Minnesota guys. Trey Murphy's another one right there. It's a guard. So yeah, I'm out on Ty Jerome, especially getting, you know, a little ownership. And then the rest of Memphis, I don't even know how you can think about anybody else right now with this situation. So Cedric Howard, people have learned no chalk Cedric Howard tonight. Unfortunate, but yeah, we'll move on from Memphis because I really think this game is Jokic or, you know, Murray or kind of bust.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. No AG. Braun at 5,300. I guess you could throw him out there as a shout at 5,300, but I don't like it as I'd rather go to different guys pretty much if I have to. Yes. I mean, Brook Lopez, leading scorer in Nets history. That guy, I mean him when I say that. Atlanta and Dallas, last game on the slate here to talk about. It's a great spot, DC, for bigs. Jalen Johnson projecting pretty good. I think Okongwu in a decent spot here. What are we doing with Atlanta and Dallas?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make cases for players on both sides of this game. Pretty good spot for Cooper Flagg as well, whose minutes have been pretty solid. And yeah, Jalen Johnson, 10-7. I know they don't play the same position, but if I'm getting like all the way up to the top guys, I'm trying to get to Joker over Jalen Johnson, but I have no problem at all with him if he's the guy that ultimately fits. He's my favorite play on the Atlanta side for sure. Yeah, Kongwu I think looks okay. McCollum, maybe not the highest ceiling, but a solid play for sure at 6,500. I think this game's okay. I don't really see anything that like really stands out to me though as something that I feel like I need to get into my lineups.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dyson Daniels is like a solid play. We saw the Nah explosion game last time out. I don't expect something like that. You guys know how big of a Nah fan I am. I thought that was one of the best pickups of the offseason when they got Nah. He's just such a good player. And he was hidden because they were just forcing him in Minnesota to play a role, and that was it. You know what I mean? There wasn't an expansion of that role very much. So he never really got a chance to kind of shine. And now he's finally getting that chance in Atlanta to be a consistent starting guard and to have the ball in his hands to do a little bit of everything. And he's showing out, DC. He's been a very consistent, solid player for this Atlanta team. Here, I'm not saying he's the most important guy or the best player, but just from a consistency standpoint, that was kind of my last question because I knew the talent with him was there. It was all just about can he do it night in, night out? Which is the thing in the NBA. You got to be able to do it, back to backs, a bunch of games in a week. You got to be able to show it consistently. And he's done that for me. He's so good. But I think Dyson Daniels is a solid play here. I like your Cooper Flag take. I don't know if I don't think I can go Cooper Flag over like a Denny or Jason Tatum, but if you're backloading, he would kind of fit maybe some of those backload teams. So
getting zero ownership today too. So
yeah,
I don't know if he'll end up on my roster, but I do like him some.
And then we're still waiting on I think a couple guys like is Danny Gafford. Danny Gafford's still questionable, so we got to see on him. I think if he's out again, you can go back to the PJ at the 5 starting lineups here if they run that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. I mean, in Jalen Johnson, I think if you want to spend up for Jalen Johnson, got no issues. I don't know if our boy Slapshot Mo's in there, but 67.8, is that okay at 10-7? Would you take 67 here? Just wondering. Best NBA player in the Alexander family, 100%, number 1. So yeah, a solid game, but I think when you look at the whole slate, DC, I think this game would be more popular on a different slate.
Agreed. And I do think I'll backload on my lineups tonight. So possible I end up on a piece or two from it, but might be a swap situation.
Yeah. All right. Let's pull up the ownership here. Let's get our anti plays and our plays of the day in before we get out of here. Remember, guys, go check out runpuresports.com for all the content, playbook, core plays, heat map for NBA, Discord, plus all the other sports we got rolling right now, March Madness, all the college basketball bets. If you're betting March Madness, check out JBC's premium bets, Steve Boynton, Gavin, posting bets for college basketball all throughout the day for those games, plus all the other sports that we got bets for, tennis. We got it all. So check us out here, runpuresports.com. All right, DC, who do we got here as your anti-play on this slate?
Well, interestingly, the top 5 owned players are all Timberwolves. So we're
go to the 6th.
Yeah.
Go to number 6.
No, I'm not going Joker here. I'll go his teammate, though. I think Jamal Murray at 9K, a little bit over-owned at 22%. If I'm playing Denver, I'm getting all the way up to the Joker. And, yeah, Murray, again, I don't think he's like terrible play. Just seems a little overpriced on this slate to me.
I like that call. If you go down, RJ Barrett, again, projecting pretty well. I'm not going to play any RJ Barrett, but I feel like I got to put my balls on the table here. Let's go to Io's projection just seems so high, DC. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't want to give it though as my anti because he still fits. He can still fit teams, but it feels really high for Io. I know we talked about the minutes being secure. That's probably one of the reasons. He is a good player. I want to say him, but I'll go with RJ and leave it at that. I do think the ownership is pretty crazy though. The projection seems high to me, so we'll see on that.
I'm probably playing
high for Io
for sure, and I'm probably playing him, but 60% ownership. I mean, you certainly don't have to play him at that number. He's not a secret. Everybody's going to have him.
It's true. Yesterday he didn't do much, so by that logic, he's dropping a 40 piece today. So that's true. Be aware because it could definitely happen. And no Nas, tight rotation. He could easily do it today. So it just feels like 63% ownership and almost a 34 projection. Feels so high, but yeah, I get it. I get why he's going to be popular. That's why I didn't want to give the full stamp anti on him, but it makes me a little nervous. All right, DC, go from the anti-play to the play of the day. Who's the play of the day? The guy you can't not have in your lineups tonight.
I want to say Cooper Flag, but I can't guarantee he'll be in my lineup. But man, at less than 1% ownership, I do really like that play. But it's Julius Randle who's going to be in all my lineups. He's going to be owned 30%. But the usage rate is gets bumped huge when Ant is off the court, and then no Naz Reid as well. Perfect matchup against Utah. I'll go with Mr. Randle.
I love that call. I'm with you. Julius Randle going to be in pretty much all my lineups as well. Go back to my boy, Jaden McDaniels here. Again, just disrespectful. 18% owned. That's it for Jaden. Jaden's a hooper, people. Jaden's going to smash again. I love Jaden McDaniels here. Had kind of a hot first half and then cooled off big time, DC, in that second half a little bit. But I thought he was going to have an even bigger game than the 39 he had yesterday. So hopefully he can put two halves together and crush for us here. BG's got Klingon as his play of the day. All right, I can get on board with Klingon on this slate, so I don't hate that. Juice says Luka, Jokic, Giddey, Jalen triple doubles, a little lotto. That's a lotto piece right there. Probably get a nice return for that. DiVincenzo here for play of the day. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It definitely feels like DC, one of DiVincenzo or Io probably bounced back tonight.
Yeah, or maybe both, to be honest. Yeah.
I hope, not for my sake. I hope for my lineup sake that it's not both, but we'll see. All right, that's going to do it here for this show, guys. Like I said, get over to runpuresports.com. Don't forget, tomorrow, MMA show, 1 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be on talking the hoops. Obviously, March Madness going on, so it'll be a bit slower here. But get in on the Discord and check us out over at runpuresports.com. It's going to do it, though, for this edition of the NBA Hardwood Show. For DC, I'm JSU. We will catch you guys later. We're out.